If you took everything away from me tomorrow, the properties, the income, the contacts, and you told me to start an Airbnb business in the UK again, from zero, with no money and no property, I know exactly what to do. And I could be back up and running really quick, faster than most people who've been researching for over a year. Because the problem for most beginners is not a lack of information. It's actually too much of it. Too many models, too many opinions, too many gurus, all saying different things. So in this video, I'm going to cut through all of that. I'm going to give you the exact plan that I would follow if I was starting again today from scratch. The real steps in the real order. No fluff, no nonsense. And by the end, you're going to know precisely where to start and what to do first. Let's get into this. The first thing I'll do is decide on the model. And this is where most beginners go wrong before they've even started. Now, there are three main ways to run an Airbnb business in the UK. Number one, you buy a property and you run it yourself. Now look, that's great if you've got a few £100,000 sitting in the bank. Most beginners don't have that, so let's just cross that one out. Two, arbitrage, also called rent to rent. That's where you rent a property, you sign a tenancy agreement, and then you sublet it on Airbnb. It's lower cost to start, but you take on the full rent liability. So if the bookings don't come, you still owe the rent out of your own pocket. So for a beginner with no financial cushion, that's also a pretty risky place to start. Now three, the landlord partnership model. This is the one that I would choose. You don't buy the property, you don't rent it, you don't sign the tenancy agreement. You simply partner with the landlord, you manage it for them as a short-term let, and then you guys split the profit. No mortgage, no rent liability, no big lump sum of cash needed. That's the model that I built my business on, and it's the one that I will start with again every single time because the risk is low and the barrier to entry is mostly knowledge and effort, not money. So step one, decide you're building a partnership business. Everything else just flows from that. Next, I'll pick where I'm going to operate, and I would not guess this. This is another self-sabotaging mistake a lot of people make in this business. People pick an area because it's near them or because it feels busy. That's not a strategy. That's literally a coin flip with your time and your money. I would use data. I would look for a few specific things in an area. New developments going up because that's a sign of growth and demand. Big employers nearby because they're going to bring contractors and corporate guests who need somewhere to stay. And then hotels because where there are hotels, there's proven overnight demand. Amenities because guests want to be near things, right? And then the actual numbers. What do similar properties in that area earn on the platforms right now? If you've watched my landlord partnership series, you know that I call that system the demand framework, and I've got a full video on it. I'm going to link that below for you guys. But the principle for a beginner is really, really simple. Stop asking what can I afford and start asking where is the demand that I can prove. So pick an area where the demand is already there. Do not try to create demand. You simply cannot. It's either there or it's not. Simple as that. Well, now I need landlords, and here's where I would do the opposite of what most people actually teach. I would not spend my days cold messaging agents on Rightmove and Open Rent and getting ignored. That's slow, it's painful, and it just crushes your confidence. I would do one of two things. If I had more time than money, then I would build relationships with people who already know landlords, business owners, professionals, people whose work connects them to property owners, plumbers, electricians, mortgage brokers, handymen, and so on and so forth. One good conversation a week. Within a year, you've got a network of people feeding you opportunities. And if I had a bit of a budget, then I would run simple low-cost ads, as little as £10 a day. The same money that most people spend on lunch and a coffee every single day. Invest that in the right message, and you can have landlords reaching out to you directly. People who already understand what you do, and they think you can help them because your ad does the heavy lifting in explaining your model. So by the time they come to you, they already have an interest. But either way, the goal is the same. Stop chasing landlords, get them coming to you. I've pulled the full week-by-week version of this path inside my free 30-day Airbnb launch plan. It literally walks you through naming the business, the setup, the location research, and getting your first deal. I'll tell you where to grab it at the end of this video. Now, when a landlord shows interest, I'll be very careful not to do what most beginners always do, which is panic and overpitch. I wouldn't sell. I would solve problems. I would ask questions first. What's the property? How's it been performing? Are there any problems with it? What are they looking for right now? I'm listening for the pain, an empty property, bad tenants, worry about the market. Then I'll show them the numbers. What the property could actually earn as a short-term let versus a normal tenancy. Then I'll just position it simply. You keep ownership, I run it, you make more money without doing any of the work. That's it. You're not begging for a favor. You're solving a problem that they already have. That mindset changes everything about how the conversation goes with them. Now, once I've got the deal, then I'll set up a few systems that actually matter, and I'll keep it really lean. You don't need everything on day one. A good cleaning team. Now, not a solo cleaner who disappears renters when they're ill. Also not a huge company who doesn't care about your one property. A small growing company that values your business and actually shows up. And then a channel manager to keep my calendar synchronized across platforms so I never get double booked. And then you need a pricing tool so that my rates move with demand automatically instead of me guessing. And then ID checks and deposits on every single guest to protect your property and filter out the wrong people. So that's the path. 5 steps. Pick the model, choose a location with real demand, get landlords coming to you, solve their problem in the first conversation, and then set up link systems. That's what I would do if I was starting from zero today. And honestly, it's what I would tell anyone who's serious about building a successful Airbnb business to do right now. None of it needs a mortgage. None of it needs a big lump sum of money. It needs knowledge and a bit of effort from you. And you can build both. So here's your first step. Download my free 30-day Airbnb launch plan right now. It takes everything that I've just walked you through and it lays it out week by week. Naming your business, your company setup, the location research, getting your first deal, and then launching your listing. It's free. The link is in the description below. Go and grab it and just start working through it. And if you want the deeper version of each one of these steps, I've actually got a full series on this channel called the Landlord Partnership Blueprint. Start with part 1. The playlist is going to be linked below. And if this gave you the clarity you needed, then subscribe to this channel. Do it right now. I'm putting out videos every single week for UK people who want to build a real Airbnb business from the ground up. And on Thursday, I'm answering the one question that I always get the most. How much money do I actually need to start? You don't want to miss that. Onwards and upwards. I'll see you on the next video.